Okay, so let's go over problem number 12 from your test. Okay, so let's go over 12. The length of a rectangular swimming pool is 10 feet more than twice the width. Okay, so you know that L is equal to 10 plus 2W. Okay, then they tell you if the perimeter of the pool is at least 170, I'm going to write that value here, feet, and at most 202 feet. Okay, write the absolute value inequality that describes the possible widths of the pool. Then solve and show all your work. What are you going to do here? This looks like basically the solutions. Okay, so what do you want to find? You want to find the midpoint. The midpoint, you know that it's going to be 170 plus 202 divided by 2. When you plug this in the calculator, let me do it pretty quickly here, it gives you that 170 plus 202 is equal to 372 divided by 2, which is going to be 186. Okay, so this is your midpoint. After you find the midpoint, okay, midpoint. After that, you know that you need the 200 minus 186, which you know that it's going to be what? It's going to be 16. Okay, therefore you can build your absolute value inequality here. But you're like, where? How? Well, you know that the perimeter, here's the trick, perimeter of a rectangle, remember we have a rectangle here, it's going to be 2 times the width plus 2 times the length, okay, assuming that this is W and this is L. So what happens here? You are going to replace with the information that we have over here, okay, so you know that the perimeter is going to be 2W plus 2, and you plug all that chunk here. Okay, after that you have that it's going to be 2W plus 20 plus 4W. Okay, so this is going to be equal to 6W plus 20. Okay, and that's your perimeter. The absolute value inequality here, it was referring to the perimeter. Therefore, what you have, okay, it's the absolute value of the perimeter minus the midpoint that we found that it was what? 186. Less than or equal than 16. Are we okay with that? So you have this equation, okay? Do you know what's the perimeter? Do you know an equation for the perimeter? Absolutely. You know that you can plug 6W plus 20 as the perimeter minus 186, and this is going to be the first part of the problem, okay? So for that one, you would have there 8 points. Okay, now what are you going to do here? You need to solve this inequality, and I'm lying, you wouldn't have 8 points there, you would have 6. Okay, so what are you going to do here? Well, I can combine these like terms, so obviously I'm going to write it a little bit easier like this. Okay, after that you have your two cases. Okay, so you have 6W minus 166 less than or equal than 16, and your other case, you know that it's going to be 6W minus 166 greater or equal than negative 16. Okay, so after that, naturally you know that this is an intersection, okay, because of the way that you have the absolute value. So from here I would just solve. You have 6W is less or equal than 182. Okay, after that you divide by 6 both sides, and you have that W is going to be equal to 182 over 6, which you can simplify as 91 divided by 3. Okay, on the other side you have a similar situation. You pass the 166 adding to the other side, and you would have 150, and then you would divide by 6 both, so you would have W is greater or equal than 25, meaning that you basically found your solution. Why? If you go back to your graph, okay, well, I'm back, this is going to be what? More specifically, that one, if you plug it in the calculator, is going to be 30 point something something. Okay, more specifically, if you want to be specific, 30.3333 would repeat it. Okay, so you know that you have the 25 here and the 30 here. Okay, you are including the extremes. Okay, so this is shaded, this is shaded. Okay, so you have that it needs to be less than this value and more than this value, so you know that the in-between area is the one that you care about. So what's going to be here your conclusion? Your conclusion is that W needs to be in between what? 25 feet, okay, and 30.333 feet. And that's it.